Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lily. I am so happy you're here with me. In today's video, I am going to show you how to make little house envelope pockets Halloween style. I have been making my signature little house envelope pockets for several years now, and I have made so many different styles in so many different themes and holidays. I have a playlist for you up above. I will link it right there so that you can go and see the array of little house envelope pockets that I have made over the years. A lot of you have called them Lily's houses, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So we are going to be making some of these today. What I did is I went through my Halloween stash. I have 3 12 by 12 craft keepers where I keep all of my Halloween things that I have been collecting throughout the years. And that is what I use to embellish these. One of the things that these little house envelope pockets will feature are these cute little banners. These were store-bought stickers, but I did create some DIY ones. Let me show you what those look like. I have them right here. So I have made some DIY little Halloween banners. I will have this video for you in a couple days showing you how I made these. And these were inspired by, let me grab the inspiration. So they were inspired by this. This is a store-bought sticker. I've had these for about 10 years. And the reason I didn't use them, well, one, I was hoarding them because they are so cute. But two is I was waiting for the right time to make my own. I figured I can do that. And so that is why I went through my supplies and created my own little stickers. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss this video showing you how to make these beautiful stickers in the next couple of days. I'm going to show you some of the other little house envelope pockets that I have made. Look at how cute that is. This one I made off camera. So I made 2 off camera, 2 little prototypes. I always do that before I get going. So look at how cute these are. So this was the store-bought inspiration, and then this is the one over here that I DIY'd. Isn't that so stinking cute? And let me show you a sneak peek of one that we are going to be creating today. So cute. Look at that one. Oh my gosh, isn't that so stinking cute? So gather your supplies. If you don't have Halloween things, use whatever you have in colors that are Halloween to you. It can be pink, it can be purple, it can be orange, it could be blue, whatever you want, make it your own. Isn't that so cute? And then the roof opens up, and then in here I have a journaling card, and I'll show you that as we get going in the video. All you need to start to make these little house envelope pockets are number 10 envelopes. That's it. I am going to show you how to transform a plain number 10 size envelope and create one of these cute little house envelope pockets. If you don't have a new number 10 size envelope, use a junk mail envelope. Use whatever you have. Okay, are you ready to get started? I can't wait to show you. Let's go over into the crafty loft. See you there. Let me begin by showing you up close what these super cute Halloween little house envelope pockets look like. Show you all of that great detail. I used Halloween scrapbooking papers. I also used Halloween stickers, Halloween confettis, and then die cuts, and also things that I fussy cut, dimensional stickers, and I used cut aparts too for filling the little pocket. And so that's why I said earlier, just go through your stash and make these your own. I don't decorate the back too much because I like to use these as floating pockets in my junk journals. In this way, it gives you the opportunity to journal on the back of it if you like. If you are familiar with my style of junk journal making, you know that I include one of these on the very first page of each and every junk journal that I make. This was the prototype, and isn't that so pretty? And I've used stickers, and look at that little cat. Oh my, those are little cat black cat glittered stickers that I have had for a long time. I can't remember where I picked those up. I usually buy Halloween things like when they're on clearance. And I may have picked them up at Michael's. They are so cute. I remember when my sister saw them, she thought they were so cute. So I shared my little glittered black cats with her. And then I also used little pumpkins that I think were confettis. And then here is a DIY banner. I also made this one off camera. Just use random things from my stash in coordinating colors. You can see them here side by side. I think I did pretty good. I would have loved to have had small glittered thickers. That way the word trick would have popped. I'm going to link a video for you up above. Oh my gosh, it is so funny because it's a little shorts video that I uploaded the other day when I first did this banner. I stuck trick backwards. And I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. So I'll have that video for you up above. But if you miss any of the videos, any of the little cards that pop up in the upper right hand corner, open up the description area, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see all of the relevant videos. These are the stickers that I have been hoarding, I want to say about 10 years. And I did use others in the past, like long ago. But these I was saving because I wanted to recreate them. This has been on my to-do list for years. And as I was going through my Halloween things, I thought, what a perfect time right now to recreate some of these with the items that I have. And so stay tuned for that video. I should have it for you in a couple days. And I'm going to use a little bit of both, some of the DIY banners and then also some of those newer stickers. I really like how these DIY banners turned out. I think when you watch that video, you're going to have a lot of fun. It is really going to spark your imagination so that you can create in your own style. What I share for you here is in hopes that it inspires you to create in your own unique way, using whatever tools that you have, because the tools that you have will vary from what I have, and that goes with supplies as well. So don't feel that you need to go out and get anything. We can be creative with the supplies that we currently have. So there you go. So I'm going to set those aside and we are going to get started and work on our little house envelope pockets. I have been making these for many years now, and I take a plain number 10 size envelope. I'm using new envelopes, and the reason is I came across a giant bag of these envelopes at the thrift store, and I think I paid a couple dollars for that bag. And so I am just using those up, but I also have a huge stash of junk mail envelopes. Either type of envelope will work. The very first thing that I will do is seal the flap, and I will do that to all 3 of these. So if you have a junk mail envelope, those are already sealed, so you are 1 step ahead of me. The next step, after we seal the envelopes, I am going to cut an opening on one of the long ends. So on the right hand side, I'm going to take my scissors and I am just going to trim a sliver off of that end. All I'm doing here is creating an opening, and once you've done that, you basically have a really long pocket, and I will do that to all 3. So I'm going to work with 3 of them, and I think that if this is your first time here watching me do this, I think it's important for me to repeat these steps at least 3 times. It can be kind of tricky the first time. I've been making these for years. I can probably do these with my eyes closed. But these are so much fun, and I want you to enjoy the process. I'm using my ruler as a guide, and I'm going to create the roof of my little house by folding it over at the 6.5 inch mark. I'm showing you here that The side where the flap is, I want that to be the front of the house. And the plain side, or the side without the flap, will be the back side. That leaves a cleaner, smoother surface on the back so that you can write or you can embellish even more. And so the flap side will be the facade of the house because we're going to cover it up with decorative papers. And so all of those folds and flaps will not show. I lined up the envelope right along my ruler, and I'm folding it at about the 6.5-inch mark. You can make your roof as big or as little that you want. I made sure to fold it at the 6.5-inch mark because I know that the journaling cards that I'm going to be placing in those pockets are going to have to fit in there. So if you have a tag in mind, or if you have a candy bar in mind, whatever it is that you plan on putting into the pocket, just make sure that your pocket is going to be deep enough to hold the contents. You can make these in so many different sizes. I'm now going to split open the sides of the rooftop, and I'm going to go beyond that fold line about 1/2 inch, and that is what I am pointing to right there. I'm going to use my ruler as a guide for you. So right where I folded the roof, I'm going to go past it about 1/2 inch and mark it. I don't do this at all. I'm just showing you as a visual. I can kind of eyeball 1/2 inch, but you can mark if it helps. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut along each side. And I'm going to stop right where that 1/2 inch pencil line is. And then I will repeat that on the opposite side. I'm holding it. It looks kind of tricky here. I'm just showing you. This is just for visual reasons so that you could see where I stop the cut. And so see how the cut now extends 1/2 inch past that fold line. There's a reason why I do that, and I'll talk about that as we move on. I'm now going to take that flap and then roll it over to the left-hand side until it catches at those 1/2 inch cut marks. And you won't be able to pull any more. It'll kind of catch, and then you will press and seal that fold. I don't need the excess, so I'm just going to trim that excess and set it aside. I am leaving a little bit of that flap just so it reinforces that pocket. After all, we are going to use the pocket to fill it with goodies or journaling cards. You can use these however you like. I'm going to link a video up above because last year, 2024, I created an advent calendar using Little House Envelope Pockets Christmas style. And it turned out so beautiful. I think you'll enjoy that video, especially with Christmas coming up. You can make your own advent calendar using these little houses. So they're not just for junk journals. They can also be used as part of your holiday decor and for gift giving as well. These make a great gift in lieu of a traditional gift card too. I'm repeating the process a second time. And notice how for this second one, I didn't mark it with a pencil. I can kind of eyeball 1/2 inch. And then I just folded it over, and now I'll cut the excess. You don't have to cut the excess if you don't want to. You can glue it down if you like. And we'll get to the glue part in just a moment. I will finish trimming this third one. So very carefully cutting down the side and measuring, eyeballing about 1/2 inch past the fold line. Repeating it on the opposite side. You'll get the hang of it. Remember, I have been doing these for many, many years. I have made hundreds and hundreds of these. And so it comes very easy to me now. The very first time that you make this, based on the feedback that I've been getting, it can be a little bit tricky, but you will develop your own style. you will create these, and you may even find methods that are easier for you, or maybe even just a time saver. You will develop your own unique techniques when creating this. I am here to provide you with inspiration so that you could fly, my children, and create. And I have used a little bit of glue to glue that flap down. And that's what I mean, where if you don't want to cut the excess flap, you can just simply glue the entire flap down. We're going to cover it anyway, so it's not going to matter. I just decided to cut it. Either way, it really doesn't matter. And the reason why I cut 1/2 inch past that fold line is so there's a little bit of room there to be able to reach into the pocket to place your things in. If your pocket was up to the fold line, you just risk tearing it. It becomes more delicate. So this gives you just that little 1/2 inch gap to reach easily into the pocket. I am measuring my envelope. Some envelopes that are not regular number 10 size envelopes, like your junk mail envelopes, may vary in size. So you need to measure the width of your envelope when you get to cutting your decorative papers. You cut them down to the right size. I have chosen this lighter weight scrapbooking paper to line the inside of the envelope. I recommend that when you do this part of lining the inside of the envelope, you use a lighter weight paper. It is just my recommendation. You can also use book page to do this. And I trimmed this piece of scrapbooking paper 1/8 of an inch smaller than the width of my envelope, so it easily fits into the pocket. I only want to cover the inside of the roof. I'm not pushing the paper all the way inside to the bottom of the envelope. It's not necessary. It'll be just a waste of paper. However, if your junk mail envelope had a window, then you would want to make sure to insert the decorative paper all the way to the bottom so that it shows through the window of your junk mail envelope. But in this case, I only need to insert it just a couple inches just to make it visually appealing. I'm now going to flip it over and follow that fold line. And then fold, crease, and press. And I'm going to open it really quick so you could see how the paper's not lined all the way to the bottom, just a couple inches past the edge of the pocket. And I did the same thing with these as well. I'm going to go through every single step. This is a somewhat of a longer video, but there are so many little details when making these. I don't want you to miss a single detail of these little house envelope pockets. I'm trimming up the edge of the paper just to clean it up so it's even with the edge of my roof. And then I fold the roof as I go, just to make sure that I don't lose where my folds are. This big scraper tool comes in handy, but you can also use a bone folder. The next step is to cut your paper to the width of the envelope, because this is the part where I will cover the facade of the little house. So you want to make sure it is the exact width of the envelope. Using double-sided papers is really, really tricky because both sides are so beautiful and perfect for this occasion. So I'm going to do one of each. I'm going to use the back paper, and then I'm also going to use the side that shows those little, the little skulls. I recommend using heavier cardstock for this part. It'll add stability and strength to your envelope so it's not so floppy. I'm using the Ultimate Glue, which is my favorite glue. I will use glue stick for lighter weight papers and the Ultimate Glue for heavier weight papers. The Ultimate Glue is very similar to tacky glue. The Ultimate Glue, I really like it. It dries clear and it works on all kinds of different materials. Paper, glass, plastic, metal, and it's like a white super glue. And I really, really like it. I do have an Amazon storefront and I will link that down below if you'd like to see a list of a lot of the supplies that I use throughout my project making. At this point right here, you have two options. You can cut the excess flush to the bottom of the envelope, or you can do what I'm doing and just folding it over. I like folding it over because it adds a little decorative element to the reverse side of your little house envelope pocket. I'm using my scraper tool as a guide to fold over that flap. This paper is somewhat thick, and so that really helps to fold it over and so it's even all the way across. And then I will burnish it to make sure that everything sticks in place. Ta-da! Do you see how it's taking shape now? This is the fun part. The fun part is decorating and using all the cute and pretty decorative papers that you may have. If you don't have full sheets of decorative paper, you can collage the front using pieces. You can use napkin. You can use whatever you want. I just happen to have a 12 by 12 keeper full of Halloween scrapbooking papers. That is why I have these full-size sheets. I'm going to do the same thing with house number 2. And then position my scrapbooking paper, burnish it, make sure that that glue really adheres that paper. You can use your hand as well. And then the bottom, again, you have the option to cut the excess or fold it over. I think folding it over is the better option. Because what are you going to do with all these tiny little scraps? Just leave it and let it become a decorative part of the backside of your little house. These are so much fun. I haven't created Halloween themed projects in a couple years. I don't think I did anything Halloween last year. And I can't remember if I did anything for 2023. I believe the little Halloween envelope pockets that I made were in 2022. So it's been a while. And I don't think I've made Halloween style junk journals either, but I do have some and I do love how those turned out. I think that video is making its rounds again because I'm getting a lot of comments on it. I'll link it for you up above. It's a flip through of 2 beautiful Halloween junk journals. I'll have that video for you up above. I think you'll have fun watching that video. And then here we are with the third one doing the same thing. I could have used different papers as well. I'm telling you, I have a whole drawer full of Halloween papers, but because I've already cut these up, I just thought, let's just use these right here. And you can see all of the other papers that I have from the other little house envelope pockets that I made off camera. I really like that bat paper. And it's too bad that I had to cover it up or that it's on the reverse side. But why do they do that to us, right? Single-sided sheets are perfect. But then again, these are also great for using in your junk journals as signature pages because then you have a decorative side on each side. And there you go. Use whatever papers you want. You do want them to coordinate and make your houses look nice and cohesive. The very next step is we are now going to cover or decorate the roof of the little house. And I'm pointing out that when I get to cutting the paper for the roof, it is going to extend about an inch or two past the fold line of that little roof. And then I will show you how I reinforce it with black washi tape. So the very first thing is I am going to measure the roof. This is the paper I'm going to use. This is paper I've had from American Crafts for a while. I went to a warehouse sale here in Orem, I think it is. Last I heard is that the American Crafts warehouse has closed, that they've sold. I've not done my own research. I know that my sister told me that they're no longer around. I'll have to do a little bit of research. I know that a few of you have asked me about the American Fork warehouse. Excuse me, there's a city called American Fork here. Many of you have asked me about American Crafts warehouse, but I don't have any information on that right now. And there was an email that I received asking me specifically where it is, and I am so sorry that I've not replied. Some emails I get, you guys, I get hundreds of emails a day. I don't know why that happens, but anywhere between 300 to 500 emails a day. And I am the type of person that likes to bring the emails to zero. But when I get really busy, a few days will go by and then I've got 2,000 emails I have to go through. And so I apologize if I lost your emails and have not replied. But there's one that I have pending that I've marked to reply to. So I will get to it. But I apologize for that. Okay, so what I did here is I measured just past that fold line. So I'm cutting the paper about 4 inches in length. And now I'm just trying to figure out how to position it. So I will cut it down to about 4 inches, and that'll give me enough paper to be able to cover the front of the roof and still have it extend a couple inches past the fold line. The reason I go past is it provides a nice finished look on the very top edge where it folds. And so I really like the way that looks. It's really just for aesthetics. If you don't want to cut your paper longer than that fold line, you can cut it to the exact size of that roof flap. But when I tell you that it just leaves a better finish at the very top of the fold, you'll see what I mean, because I'll show you. So now I'm just positioning my paper over the roof flap, making it flush to the very edge of what will be the future eave of that roof. And then I'm going to burnish it, and I'm going to set it aside for just a moment, let that really dry for a second. And I'm going to glue all of the little decorative papers to the rooftop. If your papers have script or designs, you want to make sure that you position your papers so that they don't turn out upside down. I'm telling you this because I know it's happened to me. And then this is really cute paper. Again, double-sided paper, so it was really hard to choose. But I have, switched it up on some of the different little house envelope pockets just to add more variety. And then I will glue the third one down. Do you see how it's tough? I really can't decide what side to use because I like them both. I know it looks like I'm using a lot of glue, but I really want everything to stick. I don't want anything coming apart. And then I'm more careful when it comes to the edges because I don't want it spewing out of the sides. And then I just burnish it, smooth everything out. And then the very next step, I believe, is I begin to fold. And so I am going to go find that crease mark. Oh, one other thing. Do you see here on the edges where it doesn't look very clean? And I'll flip it around. You could see how the papers lift a little bit there. I am going to use washi tape to clean up those edges. This is my favorite tape right now, you guys. I did a Daiso haul recently. Daiso, tomato. I went to Daiso in Little Tokyo, Los Angeles in the month of September, and I found this black, I think they called it, what did they call? They didn't call it washi tape. They called it masking tape. That's what the package read. And I only bought one of them because I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. OMG, I love this tape, and I need more of it. So I will probably end up going to my local Daiso that one of my YouTube subbies just told me we have now here in Provo. And I know there's another one in Salt Lake, but that one's way out of my way. But I am going to be in Provo on Sunday. So I'm going to stop by Daiso and hope that they have more of this washi tape or this masking tape. Do you see how it cleaned up that edge? And now it cleans up the sides. It's all for aesthetics, you guys. See how nice that looks on that edge where the papers aren't lifting on the sides? And I will repeat that process with all three of them. I love using little elements of black in my junk journals, in my junk journal layouts, in my junk journals, in my projects, because that pop of black adds so much interest to your work. It almost just kind of ties everything together. And I'm just worried that I'm going to go through this masking tape so fast. That's why I can't wait to get down to the Daiso and pick up a few more. By a few more, don't be surprised if I end up just taking whatever they have. Do you see that edge now? How it's nice and reinforced? And there is no risk of it tearing on the sides when you open your pocket. So it's for aesthetics, but it's also for strength and for durability. There's a method to my madness, everybody. And now just wrap that around. And I go all the way around so that it looks nice and clean on the back. And I just love how these are turning out. Nice clean edges. Pockets are ready to be used. Now, the next step is to fold the roof flap over. Do you see that? And I'm going to follow the crease. The crease on the outside is hidden, but you could still see it on the inside of the envelope. So I'm going to follow that and use it as a guide. I'm going to use my scraper tool to help it along. Make sure it's even on both sides before I burnish and crease it down. I don't want a wonky roof. Though, a wonky roof, maybe I'll do that. A wonky roof for a Halloween house? Oh, I'm going to play around with that idea. Let's see how that turns out. I think that'll be kind of cool. Almost like, the wonky houses from, what was The Grinch? From the movie The Grinch, those wonky houses. Oh, yes. I'm going to give that a try. Okay, I'm going to show you here how if you don't have a large scraper tool, you can use your bone folder. I use the scraper tool because I have very long fingernails, and it's kind of tricky to hold the skinny bone folder. But it works just as good. You can use it as a guide. You can use it for creasing and folding. I like to use that very large scraper. In fact, that large scraper used to be my dad's. I borrowed it in quotation marks from his toolbox. My dad used to work in the auto body industry. He's now retired. And so he would use these scrapers to apply the Bondo on cars that he would be fixing. And so see how it's hard for me to hold it with my nails? My nails are kind of long, and the larger scraper, it's just easier for me. That is all. That is the reason. And there you go. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the base of your little house envelope pocket. Once you have made all the cuts, the folds, and you've added your decorative paper, the fun begins, because now we get to decorate our little house envelope pockets however it is that you want. You get to go through all of your fun Halloween stash and apply all of those cute elements. I have these stickers that I've also been hoarding for many years. These are Halloween rosettes, and I am going to use some of these to mimic the look of a roof. Aren't these so cute? They are dimensional, which I absolutely love. I don't mind using a lot of dimension in my junk journal projects and even in my junk journal layouts. And that is why I end up with chunky monkey junk journals. And I am going to see which one I'm going to use. I was going to use this one, but I opted against it because it is sticky all around. And I like for my little stickers or little chimneys to kind of protrude off of the top a little bit. So instead, I've opted for this cute little rosette, which reads Eek. And I'm just going to position it just to make sure that the glue doesn't show on the other side, but it does kind of pop up a little bit on the top. So cute. And we're going to set that aside, let that dry for a moment. And I'm lucky I have a second one. This one was also really cute, but it is sticky all the way around. I could have used my little powder tool to take some of that sticky away, but I decided to save those for future use, maybe in a junk journal layout. So I'm going to take the second one of these rosettes and also add it so that it looks like a little faux chimney. You can use whatever it is that you want, and I'll bring out a little bag of random little Halloween bits and pieces. And I'm going to sift through this little pile of die cuts and just random things to select a chimney. A witch's hat would be perfect. So I'm going to go through all the things and make a decision from here. I have foam stickers, a cauldron. That would be perfect too. As a roof, you can also use tags. Let's see, what else do I have? More witch's hats. I really like that black witch hat. That is really cute. Oh, and I have these die cuts that I can use as little doors. And then I have little banner pieces. Decisions. I think I end up using, yes, I end up using this foam sticker, which reads Happy Halloween. And I'm only going to remove half of the sticker because I'm only going to glue half of it down, but I'm peeling away the wrong half. That's the top half. I need the sticky back to remain. So I put it back on, and I only want to remove the bottom half of the sticker because I'm only going to glue down the bottom half on the roof because the top half is going to protrude at the top. Did that make sense? And I don't want there to be any sticky on the back side, on the side that's going to show on the back of the roof. It does have some sticky, but because I want to reinforce it, I don't want it to come loose. I'm adding a little bit more glue just to really secure that down. So do you see, I showed you all of those little bits and pieces to give you an idea of what you can use as your faux chimney. You could also use a little chimney. You can draw your own chimney. You can make a chimney from, maybe you have brick designed scrapbooking paper. You can make your own chimney that way. But these are whimsical little house envelope pockets. And this is where it's fun to use your imagination when it comes to adding all of these elements. I use these little die cuts as doors. I think these are the perfect size. And I only had a couple of them. So what I had to do is make my own. I used one of the others as a template, and I took a pencil and then just traced over the little die cut and filled this vanilla colored cardstock with all of those little houses. In fact, I've already used one on this little house envelope pocket. And then I just drew them on there and then fussy cut. And I did a whole page because I'm going to be making a lot more of my little house envelope pockets. Not necessarily Halloween, but I want to make sure that I have little doors ready to go. And they could be in different colors. You can use pattern paper, whatever you like. But this is the perfect size for the facade of this little house. You can also use tags. So as I was sifting through this little bag, I discovered these cute little tags, and I will use some of these tags as doors. And this is where the imagination comes in. It doesn't have to be an actual door. You can use things that kind of resemble the look of a door. You can also cut rectangle pieces of paper if you want to use as your doors. And I'm showing you how you can also use tags. This was a product tag. I saved it because it was so cute. I bought it. It was something that came from a boutique that I bought a couple years ago. And so that was the tag that they used as part of their packaging, which I thought was really cute. I'm going to glue these down. You could see that the other little house envelope pockets that I made off camera all have one of those oval doors. I love that I came across this little bag of goodies because I was able to show you and use how you can use other elements as a door. I hope you're having fun watching this, and I really do hope that this inspires you so that you can make your own little house envelope pockets. If not Halloween, you can make fall houses, which I have also done. If you open up the description area, you'll see the playlist linked at the very bottom. There'll be a thumbnail with Little House Envelope Pockets playlist, where I have tons and tons of videos there showing you all the different styles that I've made. And fall houses are in there as well. And those are so cute. I'm going to place these acrylic block and then this lid over just so that they completely dry. The next step is I am going to find something that I can use to create a window on the front. I've used a candy corn die cut, and then I've also used these tickets as a little window. And I don't have the stamp to create that little ticket, but I do have a punch to create the ticket. This is an old punch from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to cut a couple of these to make a window. But I'm also going to show you how you can DIY your own ticket if you don't have this punch. Super, super easy. I want to be able to show you both methods. And so what I'm doing here is I am just going to cut a rectangular piece of paper similar to the size of the punch that I just cut out. And what's going to give it the look of a ticket is trimming just a tiny bit of each corner. And ta-da! You have a ticket. Super easy. So if you have the punch, great. If you don't have the punch, great, because you can cut your own rectangle and make your own ticket. I went through my Halloween stamps and I am going to stamp on those tickets. And I chose the word boo because of the size. So the size is perfect for the little ticket. If you don't have a stamp, you can also just write out, like grab a Sharpie and just spell out the word boo onto the little ticket, and that will work. I just happen to have this boo stamp that fits perfectly onto that little ticket. I'm using Memento black ink. As I was doing this, when I was filming, it was a little bit tricky because I didn't want my head in the camera. And I was trying to get as close as I possibly could to make sure that it lined up evenly. Isn't that so cute? And those are going to be my little windows. You could use anything you want as a window, even a candy corn sticker or a candy corn die cut. My guess is that the image on those other little tickets as windows, the ones that read Happy Halloween, my guess is that I must have been at some type of craft party and I stamped those. And then I only bought the punch but didn't buy that stamp. That's why I had those 2 extra little Happy Halloween tickets. I did, however, go online to find that stamp, and I found it, and it's in my shopping cart, and I'm gonna get it because I love it so much. I rarely use ink to distress the edges. I rarely do this, but this really finishes the look of these little tickets. I'm using a distress ink, and I'm just very lightly going around the edges. I love this look. It's just not something I do very often, but it is worth the extra step. Now that I have distressed my little window tickets, I am ready to glue them to the front of the house so that it looks like a little window. That DIY ticket may be slightly larger than the others, but it'll fit just fine. So cute and so much fun. I'm going to make so much more. I was thinking about making a couple of Halloween junk journals, but I think it's late in the season. I don't know. Maybe just for fun. Maybe for fun, I'll make 1 or 2. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I also want to make some fall junk journals. I know. I'm a little bit behind in the making, but it's been a really busy year, you guys. But I think I will anyway for fun, even if it's late in the season. I still have a few junk journals in my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is in the description area below if you would like to hop on over and see what I have. Right now, as of what's today? Today's October 8th. Right now, I am offering free shipping on everything in my Etsy shop. And I will have a discount code for you in the description area below if you would like to save a little ka-ching on your purchase. So I still have a few junk journals there. Okay, so I will continue to embellish with these cute little stickers. I love these little black glittered dimensional stickers so much. and I will probably save a few and use these in a junk journal layout. Oh, speaking of layout, you guys, I am partaking. I have been asked by Kia Creates to collaborate. Yes. And I will be doing her Halloween junk journal challenge. If you know Kia Creates, she has this challenge that she does every year. And this year I have been invited to participate in her challenge. So coming up on October 19th, I will have my video as part of the hashtag Halloween junk journal challenge. And that'll be so much fun. So subscribe so you don't miss my video on October 19th. It is going to be bat and cats themed, or cat and bats theme. But I am so excited. I can't wait for you to see that video. It is going to be so much fun. That layout is going to be so much fun. So don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss it. And then you also don't want to miss everyone else's amazing work. And so go ahead and hop on over to Kia Creates. It is at Kia Creates here on YouTube so that you can follow her along, and then all of the other amazing creators that are going to participate in this Halloween junk journal challenge. It's going to be so much fun. And so I am going to save one of these little cats for that layout. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. And I am just gluing it to the very bottom. This ultimate glue will hold down those little cats. And the little cats are like an acrylic or a plastic. And so this glue works perfect to make sure that that little cat will stay in place. I'm now decorating the front porch of the little house by adding a couple of jack-o'-lanterns. So cute. I love how these are turning out. They are turning out so cute. I have them right here, right in front of me, and I just can't get over how cute they are. I texted my sister a sneak peek of these yesterday, and then she also sent me a video of little Halloween houses that she worked on over the weekend, and they turned out really cute. She used a lot of vibrant colors, and they turned out really cute. She should share those on my community page. So sister, if you are here right now watching this, you should share. Take pictures of your little house envelope pockets and post them on my community page. By the way, this goes out to each and every one of you. If you have a project that you would like to share with me, especially something that you were inspired to create from watching one of my videos, please feel free to post on my community page, and you can find that. If you go to my homepage of my YouTube channel, you'll see community page or post. Go there and upload your project so that we can all see it. I'm now going to add more pizzazz to the door. So I'm going to take some of these little round stickers. I don't know where these came from. I don't know why they are round, but they're perfect for a door window. And I'm just taking a couple. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to add one to that little house envelope pocket because I just love the way that looks. But I will add one to this other tag on the left-hand side. And I end up using this one here that reads, "Hey Pumpkin," and I'm just going to put it over the whole of that tag. Look at how cute. I can continue. I can keep going forever and ever with all of the little embellishments. I used some of these purple gems as little doorknobs. And I'm going to take one of my store-bought stickers and add it to the roof to make it look like there's a party going on in this house. This one reads creepy. So cute. I love these so much. You have no idea how much I love how these turned out. I'm going to go grab a pen and outline the door just so that it pops against that background a little bit. I'm going to use this bronze colored gel pen and just do a simple line on the door, and that'll make it pop a little bit so it doesn't blend so much into the background. All of those little details matter, and you can go as wild. Let me rephrase that. You can be as maximalist as you want. I am a maximalist. I like using all the things, and I love all the little details. But if you are a minimalist, you can do that too. I'm now going to take one of my DIY little banners. I know you're going to enjoy this video. So just a little reminder, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss this video within the next, 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to have it up pretty soon. It was so fun and so easy. I can't believe I didn't make these sooner. Look at how cute that looks. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, because if I don't end up making Halloween junk journals, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with these? Save them. I'm going to save them. And I know they will come in handy. Maybe I'll decorate. Maybe I'll put them on like some trim and maybe hang them and create like my own bunting and use it as Halloween decor. There you go. I've done that before with other little houses. Let's use this Boo one and add that one to our third little house envelope pocket. Kind of tricky holding it. They want to flip on me. So let's start with the center one, and then the others will be easier to position. A little unruly. It's the ghosts and goblins, as I was told, playing tricks on me. I also used Halloween gauze for the very first time. These are things that I have bought over the years and have just never used. And so I'm glad that I remembered I had it. And it adds a nice little spooky touch to that banner. So, so cute. I'm now ready to fill the pockets with these really cute journaling cards. I know I call them postcards. They are journaling cards that I took from scrapbooking paper. So they are cut aparts. And they are the perfect size for the pocket. And that's why I said in the very beginning, make sure you fold your roof line where as big or as little, just to make sure that whatever it is you're going to fill in the pocket will fit. So I will add one of these cards in each one of these envelopes. Little house envelope pockets. Oh, I love these so much. So stinking cute. Wouldn't these make a nice gift for someone that is celebrating a birthday in October? You can add a journaling card. You can also add a gift card. You can add money in there. Anything you want. A chocolate bar. A chocolate bar will fit perfect in there, especially like the flat chocolate bars, like the Hershey's Almonds chocolate bars, which are my favorite. Those will fit perfect in there. And I love the green ones. That color green, that lime green, is my favorite color. And that one next to turquoise, I love working with those together. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you so much. I know this was a longer video, so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. I think you guys are absolutely awesome. Happy October, happy fall. Don't go away. I have a slideshow for you at the end. You guys are awesome. You take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.